Backhouse Reviews Zombieland. Horror comedies are really tough films to do well and to be successful. And I suppose Zombieland's probably the first film, maybe it's the only film that I can think of off the top of my head that's gone out and been successful, combining a little bit of horror with comedy. You know, you look at some of the failures out there, Eight-Legged Freaks, I think, maybe Lake Placid. I'm sure there's others out there that just haven't been able to make a significant dent into the box office. Although Lake Placid, I think, has got some direct-to-DVD sequels. Zombieland, released 2009. I love the idea, and when it first came out, I think that was what was so original and brilliant about the film, was about these rules this guy has in place to survive the zombie apocalypse, and he follows those rules. I mean, that's just really interesting. And I mean, when it came out, everyone was raving about the film. Critics, friends, online. There wasn't much negativity about the film. And when it came out, it wasn't a film that I would rush to see at the cinema. I wasn't really that fussed. I pick it up on DVD or on Sky when it's on, and that's what's happened. I remember at the time, maybe I'd seen a few scenes. I saw the Bill Murray cameo, which was fun, but I never really bothered to sit down and watch the entire film, and that's just the way it is until now. And I love the way it starts. I love the whole idea of the rules and what he's doing to keep alive, and the double tap, things like that. Some of those things sort of they make sense, but in a time of hysteria, would you keep a level head about you and follow those rules? And maybe you might ask yourself, maybe there's more people alive than just him and the couple of people he runs into, but I won't hold that against the film. I think the issue for me, if I'm going to say anything about Zombieland, is it feels a little dated, and that seems really strange for a film that's 6 years old now. But it feels like the zombie genre has just changed. I know that at the time this was the highest grossing zombie film in America. I think it held that for 4 years until World War Z. I think World War Z is too much to shout home about as well. But I think with The Walking Dead, the whole way, the whole zombie sort of franchises, or not franchises, but the whole genre, mate, that's the better word. The whole genre of zombie has just changed. And Game of Thrones, although it's not about zombies, White Walkers, I don't know, just those mini-part series that people are doing now on cable in America. Walking Dead, as we talk about, just means that zombies have to be treated a bit differently now because it's such to a high standard. And what's done in Zombieland, as I say, just feels a bit dated. Didn't have a problem with it per se. I didn't dislike it. It just didn't grip me. And I think one of the trouble that it has as well is it starts off with the rules and then moves away from that. And that really frustrated me because I really liked what it was doing there. And essentially what it becomes is your sort of 1980s Brat Pack, romance film with, if you want to replace some people, Eisenberg and Stone, maybe replacing some of the people from Pretty in Pink and, Cadillac, whatever that film was. And that's what it felt like a little bit. Did we need that love interest in there between the two of them? And suddenly the film just became a teen angst zombie film, and that's not what I'd signed up for. That's not what I was expecting. I was expecting a zombie film about people that live by rules to survive with a bit of humour. And you want to talk, Woody Harrelson was good, no doubt about that, and obviously it was quite touching when you realise that Buddy's not his dog, it was his little boy. That was sad, of course, and I thought he played his role quite well. Obviously Jesse Eisenberg plays the same character in every film, and that's fine. There's, there's no issue with him doing that, and it worked okay. Emma Stone, well, she's moved on from that sort of role now, Zombieland, but she was pretty decent in it, and Abigail Breslin, they were all pretty decent. The Bill Murray cameo was funny, but it was 90 minutes, 100 minutes of my life, and maybe I want that back. I didn't pay for the film, so if I'd have paid for the film, I think I'd have been a bit pissed off. I got the film for free, I saw it online, and that's fine. Would I want to see a sequel? Probably not, because is it going to be more of the same? What way is the sequel going to go? And I think that's what the studio really missed a trick there, because it was, perhaps still is by people, well loved and highest grossing film, zombie film in America, as we said, up until World War Z. And it really, for the first couple of years, if the studio had done a sequel, I think it would have done well, because it would have rode on the wave of the success of the first film. But I just feel like that now, you look at it, and you look at the change in the landscape of the zombie genre, as we said, and films that have these significant gaps for sequels tend not to necessarily do well when what they've sort of made on and it was made on a gimmick, which was the zombie rules. And if I try to look at films that have that similar gimmick, well, it's a bit of a different gimmick, but if you look at Sin City, Sin City's gimmick was the whole black and white film noir sort of shooting, and there was such a gap from Sin City 1 to Sin City 2 that audiences had been there, seen it, done it, and had moved on. Other films had done what Sin City had done, not to a better extent, but enough that there wasn't an audience there anymore. That was a 10-year gap, and you look at Zombieland, even if they started making the film now, probably wouldn't be out till end 2016, start of 27, mid 2017 maybe. That's something that's 8 years, and your audience is going to go. And if there was an audience, would not the TV series pilot that was on Amazon, would that not have been made into a series? And why wasn't it made into a series? Maybe because people just don't care anymore. And I think that is the real big issue here. I'm not going to say it's a bad film. I don't think it's a bad film. It was, as Rambo Rafe would say, it was a time waste. It was okay. If I could have the time back, I probably would have it back. And that's a shame, because it's a film that is well loved by a lot of people out there. But I wouldn't want to see it again. Gradings out of 10, probably give it a 5 or a 6, because I did laugh a few times. But as I say, I thought the first half of the film was a lot stronger than the second half of the film, where it did, significantly dip. So that's my thoughts on Zombieland.